Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. So, I want to explain my little fail situation that happened for Sunday's video. What I did was I filmed using a camera app because I wanted to try and do something with that and the monitor since I returned my camera, yada yada yada. And when I filmed it, it looked great. And then Sunday morning when I went to actually upload the video, it was my fertility video. And it was a get ready with me. Like, I was doing my hair and everything. I'm like, hey, we're going to the movies. Let me, film this while doing my hair. I uploaded it and the quality looked so shitty that I literally just sat there and was like, it's 9 o'clock, video's supposed to be up at 12, and there's no way I'm refilming, like I'm getting ready. So, sorry that my video you didn't get a video Sunday. I'm so sorry. I'm sure some of you are just heartbroken. But today, what I decided to do is I'm still going to do a fertility video giving you the answers of my latest visit to the fertility doctor. But I figured what I would do is I would also incorporate while I'm explaining all of that, because I don't want to make it so damper and so emotional for me. I want to keep myself a little distracted. So I did decide that I'm going to also do a Valentine's Day 2020 look. Valentine's Day is this Friday the 14th coming up. And I figured while I'm in front of the camera, let me figure out and also do the makeup look that I'm going to do on Valentine's Day when I go out with my boyfriend Sean for dinner. That's what we're going to do in today's video. I got new beauty lights and literally it's so much light. It's so freaking bright in here. I feel like a star is beaming on my face right now. But anywho, so before we get started, please be sure to hit the subscribe button, ring the bell to be notified of future videos, and let's go ahead and get started. My eyebrows are like really shitty, so we got to get them together. So while I get ready, I'll show you what I'm doing, show you what I'm using, but then I'll also go into my visit with the fertility doctor. If you guys are not aware of my miscarriage stories or my fertility testing video, I will link both of those videos below. They both go into in-depth of our 3 past losses and also all the testing that I had to get done. This is the final part. Thank goodness I actually just went this past week to get the answers. We had all the tests. I left off in my getting fertility testing video that the last step was actually Sean getting his sperm sample to the doctor. So I ended up calling in January. This is the Instant Lift Brow Pencil from e.l.f. And I think this is the shade dark brown. So I'm just going to use that while I'm talking, because if I don't get started, we're going to be here for hours. I was the one that called after like a week. Sean dropped off his sperm sample like January 4th. And that was a ways away. So once he dropped it off, they were like, oh yeah, it's gonna be about a week until we get results back. And we were like, okay, cool. So first week of January went by, the second week of January went by. The third week of January went by, to the point where I was like, why isn't anybody calling me? Like, is his sperm like freaking so majestic that they had to like send it out of the freaking country or something? And I do my eyebrows a little like crazy because I do have a method to my madness, I promise. They're not gonna look absolutely insane. I was the one that called the doctor and I was like, hey, so it's been over a week now, and I want to know if his sperm stuff is done, like the analysis is done, so we can like sit down. And this lady goes, oh yeah, we're just waiting for we normally don't call unless all the other testings are done. And I was like, I've done all my testings. And she looks and she's like, oh yeah, that's right, that's what it looks like here. Okay, great, so let me get you to the front desk. So kind of I'm thinking in my head still to this day, like, why did it take for me to call you guys to schedule? So I ended up scheduling it for last week because I was super eager. It's as soon as I could get it get the appointment set for. And that day, on our way to the fertility doctor, it was a little rough because my anxiety's been really high these days. Me and Sean got into a fight on our way there, and I just was not looking forward to getting this information. But at the same time, you know, the whole point of going through all the steps and getting poked and prodded and everything is definitely to get information. I'm going to use this Brow Bar by Rena brow gel, and it doesn't have a color on it. It's just a dark brown. So we go, and I'm just sitting in anticipation, just wondering what's, you know, we're sitting in the office. He comes in, and I kind of was thinking that what was going to happen was it was kind of going to be like in the movies, you know, when they come in with like the folder already ready and they have all the information all ready for it, and basically he comes in and he looks on the computer and he's like figuring out all the answers right then and there. So I was like, oh, okay, well, never mind. So I'm sitting there as he's just looking through everything, and the first thing he says is, oh, you have a high C protein, and he writes it down. And then he just goes back to the computer and he just starts continuing to dig through. And I'm like, what is that? That basically means that there's inflammation in your body. Honestly, I'm trying my best to go off of what I could remember because it was a lot of information. It was a very overwhelming appointment. All of these things that I'm going to explain, they don't say why I have them. They basically just give me the information as to what they see and then how we can move forward. So I asked, okay, well, how do you resolve that? Because apparently a high C protein level, C-reactive protein, causes miscarriages. And, oh, you would just take a baby aspirin. I'm like, okay. So while we're still waiting for the rest of the information, he's still digging through. I'm like, okay. And my eyebrows, I'm sorry, they're a little rough. I have not gotten around to plucking them and all of that for the maintenance, the upkeep on it. So then he's still kind of looking through, and then he goes, okay, and you do have ANA, which ANA stands for anti-nuclear antibodies. I already knew I had this, and I think I mentioned this in my getting fertility testing video, is antibodies, they basically are antibodies that everybody has antibodies to, you know, protect during sickness or anything. And I seem to have the antibodies. I can't seem to distinguish between myself or something else, which basically makes sense because once my babies got to the second trimester and the placenta kind of took over, my body started going, okay, what in the world is this in my body? Oh my gosh, we need to do whatever we can to get this out. And that's one of the causes of my miscarriage. So I knew I had this. The C-reactive protein was a shock to me. So I really wasn't expecting to have two things that were wrong with me. But he basically said, you know, that's, you know, one of the causes that we talked about in the beginning that could, you know, is definitely a reason for your miscarriages. And you know, the result to that would just be taking a steroid during your pregnancy. And I'm just like, okay, great. Like, you know, and I even went down a rabbit hole with the ANA thing because, and I definitely don't recommend ever doing this. Don't ever Google things that you have or symptoms that you have to try and get answers, because honestly, it will send you down a rabbit hole, and that's exactly what happened to me. Because it says it could be ANA, those antibodies can be associated with lupus, it can be associated with an autoimmune issue. So I went to my primary doctor, I tried to get tested for lupus, it came back negative. He said my primary said I could possibly have a rheumatoid issue, and then all my blood work came back negative. So he still wants me to go to a rheumatologist because of my ANA results, but anywho. So again, you know, he says I have that, and you know, there really isn't any cause or anything for that to his knowledge. And I'm thinking, okay, this is enough. Like, 2 is plenty. I don't need any other reasons why we've had the miscarriages. And then he goes, oh, you have killer cells too. You have a trifecta. And I'm sure he was just trying to lighten the mood. But for me, not funny, because nobody wants to hear that there's one thing wrong with them, let alone 3 things that are wrong with them. So I said, what's that? So he basically says everybody has, you know, you have cells, you have white blood cells that protects your body during, you know, infections or sicknesses. And I just seem to have cells. I seem to have more cells than the average person, which means it's actually coming back and attacking my body instead of just fighting off any infections or sicknesses or anything. So again, super upsetting, because why? And of course, you know, he just looks at me, he's like, we don't know why. I mean, unless you're having any sort of physical symptoms or anything like that, there really isn't a specific reason why these things are happening. After he said all that, and then I said, okay, well, what would you take for that? Oh, just a medication. And he said it, and I honestly give him a lot of, like, I have a lot of respect for him, actually, because in everything he was telling me, he didn't at once look nervous. Like, not one time did he look worried, nervous, or anything. He was just like, oh yeah, you would just take this for this, this for this, this for this, and you're good. Like, there's no, we're good. Now we have the answers. This is plenty, and we're good, and you should be good to go. You know, let's get started. And I'm just sitting there like, oh my gosh, like, are you freaking joking? And he didn't even get to Sean's sperm analysis at all. So I was the one that asked. I was like, oh, so, you know, is his sperm okay, I guess? And he was like, oh, I didn't even check because, you know, we had all this stuff. I just figured that's what it was. So I'm like, oh, okay, great. And then he goes, yep, everything was normal. And I'm not to say that I was hoping that he would say, oh, you know, it looks like Sean's sperm is what's causing it. But at the same time, you know, I didn't really want to sit there and feel like it's all my fault. Like, it's all my body that is working against me, essentially. After he said that, I was just sitting there, didn't really know what to think. And he said, all right, I'm giving you the green light to start conceiving naturally. And yeah, we're gonna, you know, good to go. We know what we need to do, and we're good. It was just part of me that was like, okay, like, me and Sean are not trying right now to conceive right now. We're not. Those were all definitely not planned pregnancies. But yeah, we're not looking to have children right now. We have a lot of relationship stuff to work on. We have, you know, a lot of things personally we each want to work on. So we just don't want to go there. So for my eye look, I'm going to do my eyes next. I'm not going to use a Tati Beauty palette. I'm sure everybody's like, oh my gosh, it's the only palette she owns. I do have other palettes, okay? So we're going to branch out a little bit. I did get this from the Ulta Beauty Fest that happened a few months ago. It's the CoverGirl Overthrown eyeshadow palette. And the colors look really nice. Like, I did swatch them like a while ago, and they are really pretty. So, I don't know. I want to do a light look for Valentine's Day, because normally I tend to go either like really dark, or like the smoky eye is like always what I lean towards. So I think I want to go into some of these colors in here, and I may dig into the Tati Beauty palette for the glitter. We're going to dig in with some of this. And I'm not going to introduce any of my brushes because they are all no name from Amazon, and they work like a charm for me. So I'm just going to go into Fallen here in my crease and continue to focus on this and talk to you at the same time. And I already have my mascara on from work earlier today, so we're just gonna work with that. Then he brings up the other thing that I was worried about, which was my tubes. I did mention in my previous video about this that when they did the test to shoot the water through my tubes to make sure they're not blocked, the water shot back out. And he said it could have been that there wasn't enough pressure. I have been able to conceive, so it's not something that he's worried about. But he said if we do try and naturally conceive for a while and there's still, you know, nothing's happening, then he'll have to go in and see if I'm blocked. But he just reiterated again about my uterus. The inside of my uterus looked good. It really was just those three things. And it just sucks that even though I got answers, my body essentially worked against me and, you know, killed my babies essentially. I am grateful that I was given answers at least, because I do know a lot of people, and my heart goes out to those people who have miscarried and don't know the reason and are getting testings done and they don't know what's going on. And I 100%, my heart is out with you, because this broke me and I did cry, but it is a good thing to know, because he was 100% confident that when we do conceive and I am pregnant, and the great thing about the Delaware Institute of Reproductive Medicine is they will monitor you your entire first trimester. And I'm not exactly sure all what that entails, but I'm sure it's a lot of maybe blood work and ultrasounds and all that stuff. So I'm really dealing with a specialist and not just an OB. When he walked out, I definitely started crying. I mean, the nurse was in there and I was trying to hold it in. I was biting my lip and I broke down and started crying. So this eyeshadow is a little patchy. Like, what are you doing to me? I don't want to go dark. I think I'm going to go into this dethroned color up here and maybe do that closer down in the crease. Like, I know what the freak I'm talking about, but I've watched enough videos, makeup videos, to know that you do a darker color closer to your crease. And I'm glad that I had Sean there to be there for support. I'm really glad that, you know, no matter what happens, he's like really one of the strongest people I've ever met. Cause he's like gone through a lot, not just with me in his life, but with a lot of other things. And he just always remains very strong. Another thing that he mentioned, he did say that I had a high SED rate, which is basically an indication of high inflammation in the body. If you research all three of the things that I have, ANA, C-reactive protein, and high killer cells, and then also SED rate, a lot of it has to do with inflammation in the body. And I've said this before, to my knowledge, the only thing medically that I have going on is I have an iron deficiency and I have eczema that I've had since I was younger. So I don't have like any sort of thing to me that would raise questions. So he wants me to go to my primary to see like what kind of is going on with the inflammation in my body, because he said it doesn't affect miscarriages, but the inside of my body is inflamed for some reason. And I'm 100% confused as to why that is. Like 100%. Do you know the name of this one? This is the Luxie 237 blending brush. I think I need to... Yeah, so he gave me a script for that. And I guess he thinks that me and Sean are actively trying, because he was like, all right, call us on the first day of your menstrual cycle and we'll get you in and then we'll plan to have natural intercourse and, you know, we'll do this. And I didn't say anything because, you know, we knew walking out of there that we weren't gonna plan any of that. It's coming out dark and I didn't want it dark. I'm gonna go back into fallen. and just want it to be like pretty. That was pretty much the end, and that was literally just last week. So at least we have our answers, and I'm not topless. I have a tank top underneath. I'm just looking at myself and I'm like, oh my god, I look like boobs are out. But I have really large boobs. And speaking of boobs, I informed them that I am still producing milk. We lost our baby boy September of 2019. So why like 4 months later, almost 5 months later, I'm still producing milk is a little shocking to me, because I'm not trying to open up my own like dairy supply of Lexi milk. I'm not pumping, you know, constantly. Sean's not drinking any of it. So I'm very confused on why that is happening to me. And they really didn't have a reason for me. They just said, you know, it could take some time. They wanted to redo my levels to see where they were. But when I told them I was still producing, she was like, oh, we have to hold off on that then. And I still kind of don't understand. I don't understand what we're holding off for. I mean, I have gone up a full cup size since I was pregnant. Since I found out I was pregnant back in June of last year. So I really would like to be able for my boobs to not spill over my bra every minute. I mean, I've had a reduction before, a breast reduction. Large boobs run in my family like crazy, like not just like double D big. I'm talking about like freaking HIJK. Like, I'm not even exaggerating to you. So I've gotten a reduction from like a G down to double D, and this honestly just brings me right back up. And it's slightly frustrating. So I don't know, like, at what point are they like, oh, you know, we need to get her on some medication. I don't know. But it's a little frustrating to not be able to fit properly in your bra, you know? One thing I did ask the fertility doctor is, could it be my allergies that's making my body inflamed? Because my allergies with this crazy weather change, it gets to the point where I have to take my asthma pump. I don't know. I have to go to my primary, yada, 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 figure out what's going on with my body. But it is something that I'm going to do, of course. And if it's something serious, I definitely will let you guys know. But in the meantime, I have my answers. I feel so upset that, you know, my body caused, you know, 3 lives to end. And it just sucks. But at least we have answers going forward. So if, you know, when we are ready, or if it does happen on its own, we will definitely be prepared and know what to do next. For my lid, there isn't anything calling my name. There's this Loveless color right here. No. Ew. Oh, it's like poop brown. I don't want that on my lid. Yeah, I think for glitters, I mean, it's Valentine's Day. I have to go into the Tiny palette. I literally use this palette to death. It's crazy. I think I'll go in with the Poet glitter up top here. Oh my gosh, that's a lot. Oh my god, it's a lot. I don't know if I meant to put that much. Oh well, it's pretty. It's very pinky. And I already picked out my Valentine's Day outfit. It's gonna be really like a chill outfit. Like, it's not gonna be just like a plaid shirt and jeans, but it's not gonna be like a dress. And I have no idea where we're going. Sean said he's gonna surprise me because I'm on this healthy eating kick. And he asked me where I wanted to go, and I was like, oh, it doesn't matter because I'm just gonna have to ask my coach what to eat anyway, and it's gonna be a freaking veggie lettuce bun with a freaking piece of chicken and broccoli, so you might as well just pick somewhere you want to go. And he literally said, Salad Works. Salad Works for Valentine's Day. I was like, babe, are you joking? No. We're not going to Salad Works for Valentine's Day. No. Oh my lords. I definitely went a little crazy with the glitter. On Valentine's Day, I'll tone that down a little bit, but oh my god. Trying to take these glitters off your face is like freaking literally a nightmare. If somebody has a trick, please let me know. Because I've tried doing it with a brush, I've tried doing it with a wipe, it just somehow there's still glitter everywhere. I probably won't do liner because it's a little hard to do liner with all this glitter on. You know what, let's try. I'm going to go into the Essence Super Precise Eyeliner. It's just in the shade Black. I've been trying to change it up with what I have, so I'm actually going to go in with this Smashbox Photo Finish Primer Water and prime with that and see what happens. I'm going to go in. I've been really loving this. I did a review on this, testing this out 2 videos ago. The Pretty Fresh Tinted Moisturizer from ColourPop in medium 9W is the shade that I've been using, and I really enjoy using this because it's so lightweight it doesn't even feel like I'm wearing makeup. I'm just gonna dot on my finger. I need to go in certain spots because it said it's light to medium, and I do end up going in with a beauty blender anyway because sometimes I just get really impatient and it does kind of streak a little with the brush strokes, so I just need to, like, you know, like the whole point of this too with the tinted moisturizer is like not to spend like all day. Like it's supposed to be like a boom bam, put it on your face and go. But I tried the finger method when I was using this, and if you're gonna do your whole face and not just a few spots, you're better off using a brush or a beauty blender because you will literally be there all day trying to wipe and all that stuff. See, there's just like glitter everywhere from the freaking eyeshadow. So that's fine. I guess I'll have a little glitter on Valentine's Day. We're going to keep moving. Hopefully concealer covers it. So I'm going to go in with the Camo Concealer in the shade Medium Sand because I do want a little bit of a lighter under eye. And this puppy is light, alright. Just gonna go here and here. I'm not gonna, maybe the tip of my nose. My nose is still kind of red. Maybe I'll just do the whole thing. Now I look a little dead with this freaking concealer. So I'm probably gonna go in with the darker one that I have, which is the True Blend CoverGirl Concealer in Sand Beige. Because, you know, you can't sit there and match at Target. So I'm just gonna kind of go the bottom. I'm gonna go ahead and set the under eyes with my go-to right now, the Sheer Tint Finishing Powder from e.l.f. This is the Fair Light. let's go with bronzer. It's the e.l.f. Forever Sun-Kissed bronzer. Really need to light these cheeks up a little bit. Go in. No! And I'm going to go in again with the Ciate London Marbled Light blusher in the shade Dusk. You know, rosy cheeks for Valentine's Day, you know? But not that pink. Highlighter. I've been using the same old till I get something new. The Becca highlighter, Becca Cosmetics. This is the shade Champagne Pop. Yeah, I really fucked up my highlighter. You know what? Okay, I'm still like in the making. Like, don't judge me. Like, I'm so sorry. And I'm gonna take some, put it in the brow bone. Because we all want to shine on Valentine's Day. And then we set our face. Let me do my lip first, actually. No, let's set the face. e.l.f. Matte Magic Mist. Oh god, all of a sudden. My shirt is like red with like light pink. I'm gonna do a red lip since I have a lot of pink in my eye and glitter all over my face. We gotta balance it out. Oh, lower lash line. See, I'm not even a pro. I'm gonna do Dethroned. It's gonna be a little darker than I would like, but it's okay. It's so funny because I'm gonna put all this look into my makeup and then Sean's just not even gonna be like, oh my god, you look so pretty. I'm gonna be like, oh my god, babe, you like my look? And he's gonna be like, yeah, you look so pretty, babe. But he's so sweet. He said he likes me better without makeup. He likes my natural beauty. He's so sweet. Damn it, mascara. Okay, I go into the Lashes with Benefit They're Real mascara. Okay, so now my eyes look a little more put together. All right, so for lips, I think I know. I think I'm going to go into the high-end glue that I got in my BoxyCharm box. I'm going to go into the Manuka Lip Whip in the shade Faith first. And then I've actually learned with it that the way to get it not so tacky like the issue I had in my video is by actually putting a gloss on top, and it does actually save it. This is the Essence by Ulta Beauty Girls United in the shade Finesse. It's like a nice pinky color. It's like cute for Valentine's Day. It's very pinky. Alright, so this is the finished face look. I just pulled my hair out of my bun. The hair is not the best, but for Valentine's Day, it'll be a little more curly, a little more cute, and I'll be nice and dressed up for Sean, you know. I feel like I'm creasing everywhere, but you know what? That's okay. Like, you see that happening? That's okay, because Valentine's Day, nobody cares about creasing, and Sean loves me just the way I am. So even if I do crease and crack everywhere, he'll just look at me and say that I'm so pretty. I want to thank everybody who has been supporting me through all of my losses and all of my grief and all of my troubling times the past few years. And I look forward to the future with the answers that I have, and I look forward to getting to a point where me and Sean will have our gorgeous little babies and have a family. And I'm really glad that there's such a big open community for people to talk about miscarriages and loss. After 2 years of going through these really rough times, we finally got to a place where we have answers. And in that, we also got a Valentine's Day look for me. Copy me if you want to, but all right. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.